So I'm working on this Chrysler Voyager CRD 2.8 liter, and there's a problem with its brake booster. It's leaking vacuum and it needs to be replaced. Let's have a look at it. So it'll start making a hissing noise from under the brake pedal. So that's the hissing noise that I was talking about. So unfortunately this car does not have too many videos and does not have too much of information available on how to do this job. So that's why I thought probably it would be a good idea to share it. First of all, it's a 2.8 liter diesel, and secondly, it's the right hand side, not the left hand side version, which is for the American market, and there are quite a few information available on that one. Secondly, the diesel version, it's not a common version, and the brake booster for diesel version is a different one from the petrol version. So there are quite a few things that you need to look into when you're going to do a repair job on this vehicle, especially if it's a diesel. Now I've just removed the top cover from the engine, and you can see that the booster is over there. Usually the the left hand drives have a booster over here. It's quite easy. If you remove the batteries and the coolant and coolant bottle, you can remove it. On this version, first of all, we'll have to do is to remove this air box and anything that's connected to it. Make some room so that we can see the master cylinder and over there and the booster at the back. Second thing that we need to do is to start removing the AC lines from underneath. It's actually covering the front of the booster, and then we also have to remove this and this. So the manual says that once you have removed all this thing, you can remove it from over there, take it to the side, and then just you can remove it from here. So let's see how it goes. So at the other end, it's a bit loose, and you can see from here, but I'm not sure whether you guys can see it or not, because there are lots of pipes in between. So I'm pretty sure you can see this silver screwdriver. So it's going towards. I actually tried to place it on top of the screw that goes at the other end of this pipe. If you can, I'm not sure if you can see this moving or not. So all you have to do is remove that screw and pull it out like this. So that's the screw I was talking about. So it goes in like this, and you have to remove that, unscrew this screw over the band, and then you can take it out, unplug it. So now with intake out of the way, we can see that there is at least a bit of space with which we can see what we are looking at. We need to remove this, also these pipes, and the AC hoses over here, AC pipings. And before we do that, we also need to replace this particular crossover pipe. It goes from turbo. It's a charged outlet pipe for turbo, so it contains pressurized air. It's working. So to remove it, we also have to remove this one, the battery. We do not need to drain the reservoir, we just have to remove the bracket. So I'll show you how to do that. We'll take out the battery, brackets, the reservoir bracket. We'll place it on its side and remove the pipe. So it wasn't, the PCM wasn't coming off, so I decided to loosen its bolt. Its bracket bolt is over there. I'm not sure if you can see it right here. So yeah, just some put on top of it. We'll loosen it a few times so that PCM should give us some slack. Okay, that should do it. This is the PCM bracket that is holding it down. So now you can see that the PCM is a bit loose. So we can pull it out. It's disconnected now. So this should come out good. I don't have to find this one. Now we have to remove from the other end. Now here's the other end of the pipe. Small screw over there that we need to remove. Not sure if you guys can see it. Hold on. It's all free. Should come out. So at that point in time, it's a good idea to put something in your turbo inlet. I don't want to drop something accidentally. So now that it's covered, let's see. So the workshop manual talks about removing these two pipes. So now we're going to remove these two pipes. After that we have to, you can see that the vacuum line is coming from here all the way up till here. So we'll remove these two pipes first. Then we may choose to remove this first, or we can go ahead and start removing this master cylinder. Now you can see that I have a lot more room available. I've taken everything out of my way. The last things are these brake lines and the AC connections. So what I'll do is that I have this disposable cup. The plan is that I'll remove this line and put it inside the cup. This will drain the brake fluid. I'll also loosen this other one and do the same. Yeah, the real flow of the fluid started when I opened the cap of the reservoir. So now it looks like it's almost empty. So next step is to remove these lines, the brake lines, and to remove the brake lines there are clips. So to remove these brake lines from the clips, you have to lift them and then pull the line out of it. I'll need both my hands to do that, but all you need to do is lift it up and pull the line out of it from underneath. Similarly, the other one will come from the other end. So all we have to do is leave the clips on the place and remove the brake lines from there. Alright, I've dislodged the brake lines from here where it connects to the master cylinder. I've already unclipped them from over there. They're totally free to move. I just don't want to bring them out just now because I don't have too much of a space. Since I am already working on the AC lines, I'll just remove this this nut from here, and this should remove the AC lines. The refrigerant has already been discharged, so it shouldn't be an issue. So once these are off, we can remove the brake lines, and then we can start working on removing the master cylinder. Now I remove the brake lines from here. This brings me to the last leg of this hole's problem. I have to remove the master cylinder along with the reservoir. To do this, first I have to unclip this. This connector. To remove it, just pull it out, the tape from the nut, and then here this will come off. All I gotta do is to remove those two screws, one over here and one on this side, here or there. So once I've removed these two, I should be able to pull it off. Now after taking the two screws off, I was able to just remove it, the master cylinder and the reservoir. So that's the thing that came out. One thing that we need to note here is that whenever we take ours out, for example in my case, you can see that there is no oil in here. Only you can see is some grease which was previously used to assemble it. The reason we don't want to see oil here is that if for some reason you are topping up your oil, you're not seeing it leaking anywhere, and you see your oil leaking from here, then this would probably explain why your booster has failed. Because if it leaks from here, one of your seals are leaking and it is leaking into the booster, and the moisture that is contained, because this is a type of fluid which captures moisture. So when this goes in the brake booster and it dries out, the moisture will make rust and will gradually end up failing the booster. So that's one thing to remember when you take out yours. One, to fix this one, to see whether this one needs fixing before you put a new booster in. If this one needs fixing, you need to fix this first and then put a new booster in. Otherwise it will fail. Now this is from the inside. There are 4 nuts that you need to remove, and before you remove that, there is a clip on the top here that will disengage the rod that connects to the booster. So once you remove 4 nuts, that should come out easily. I'm not gonna show how I'm gonna do that because yeah, it's really tight and spare, so I'll just proceed without doing that. Just a quick update here. So to reach the topmost nut, you'll have to remove the brake switch, which is installed right here. All you have to do is to just unscrew it half a turn and it will come out. And after that, you might have to remove this other connector. The nut over there. Not sure if you guys can clearly see it. Okay. Yeah, so this is where I took the brake switch off, and right next to it there was a connector that I had to remove. Now the 4th nut is right over there. Now I'll take it off. I tried pulling onto it, but it wasn't working. There's not too much of space. On the left side it's this the body itself. On the top there is nothing, hardly too little clearance here. So I looked at the removal process again, and it suggests that we need to remove this bolt over here. Once we remove it, there should be enough play in this line, and that line actually goes over there at the bottom of the booster. So it suggests that if we remove it, we'll have enough play so that we can pull this thing out. Let's see how it goes. Finally able to pull this one out, but the important point to remember in this context is that no matter how you pull, no matter which way you pull, it's not going to come out unless you remove this one. So this is the whole brake and accelerator assembly, and it is held back to the firewall by these two bolts. So once you remove these four that are holding the back of the master cylinder should be loose. Ideally it should come out, but it doesn't. So what you have to do is you have to go ahead and remove these two bolts too. So as soon as you remove this whole package, the master cylinder will come out pretty easily. And the way it comes out, I don't think that there is a need to remove the AC lines. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. It looks like yeah, maybe removing the AC line is a good idea to give you a bit of extra room. Otherwise this thing will actually hit here, and these pipes are kind of twisted pipes, so it's really difficult. But you may go away with not removing this one. You don't have to remove this one. I think that, yeah, just you have to remove the AC lines and the brake lines. So these are the two parts. This one came out, and this is what I'm trying to put in back in. I've already checked it's working fine. I'll show you how I check it once I've done with this video. One thing to make sure before this one goes in is that this surface need to be leveled, and it also need to be smooth, because this is where the seal is going to sit. So if there is no seal, if it can't sit in, then it'll lose vacuum. So there's a point over here which I think has been damaged while it was being removed by the guy I purchased from. So you can see it's damaged. What I'll do is that when I'm putting back the master cylinder back in, I'll put some sort of gasket maker along with the rubber. So once it dries up, it's going to make a very good seal. But yeah, the problem is that I wasn't able to get a new one for the CRD, and if you are looking at this video, you're probably in a similar situation. These are really expensive, around $1,000 plus, and even the wreckers don't have it. Okay, now the conversion is complete. I've put the booster in. Putting the booster in was a bit tricky. It did not like to go in, but after some persuasion it finally went in. Rest of it was pretty straightforward. When you put the brake lines back in, you make sure you need to bleed the brake system, because there will be plenty of air in it. And yeah, that should be it. I've been running it for a couple of days now. No leak so far, and the brake seems to be good and holding up. Thank you.